Everybody, it's me, Cassie Olberg, with our Wednesday tip. I am excited because this gem arrived, and I've been so excited about it getting here because camping is fun and I have so many campers. But today I'm going to talk to you about what if you missed out on all the past tree punches, or maybe you're new and you're just seeing trees for the first time. And you're like, I want the trees. How do I get just the trees? So we're going to play around with this, and I'm going to show you some fun things that you can do if you really want trees without the camping. So let's go take a look at that. Over to the desktop. Okay. So we're just going to play around with this. It's super fun. I'm going to actually make a slightly different border than the one that I have here, but I'm going to do the same concept for the trees and then show you something else fun that you can do with it. And that way you'll have two ideas in one Wednesday tip. So let's start off. We're just going to go ahead and make these border punches. And for the first one, I'm just going to start right at the black line where it shows to start. Remember, with these punches, it cuts right here on these between these black lines. Thank you. Yes, I did just get my hair cut today, and it will probably never look like this again because, of course, when you go and you get it cut, they put stuff in it and they make it all pretty. And sometimes I even go so far as to buy the stuff that I'll never actually put into my hair, and it never looks quite the same. But that's okay. I think I'm going to love it either way, but it is a new do. So that was our first one. We just started right on the black line. So now we're going to go ahead and we are going to, I started punching on this one. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start it in a different spot. So I just chose to start it right over here at the end of the window for the camper. I'll bring this up close in case you don't know what I mean. So I didn't start it on the black line. I started it right over here where the camping window is. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And this just makes it so that our trees can be layered in different ways. But if you screw up and you cut them all in the same spot, do not fret, because I'm going to show you yet another trick when we get to that will make it so nice and simple. So what you do when you do this is you turn around and you bring it back and you just punch over here. And now we have our trees in a slightly different spot. And now we're going to do it one more time. So we want our trees to start somewhere different. So this one, I'm just going to guess. And I used the trick on this one that I'm going to teach you in just a minute. So it may or may not line up perfectly, but if it doesn't, it's all right. And this is just such a fun and easy thing to do. You know, I like to keep my pages pretty simple. So this is actually this is a big crafty thing for me because I tend to keep it as simple as possible and build on my Fast to Fab. But what's fun is, since I'm building on Fast to Fab, even whenever I go a little crazy, it's okay because I don't have to take a lot of time on the background. Okay, so we're just going to cut it over here. I'm going to go all the way over to about 2 inches. Doesn't have to be exact. You're just giving yourself a base to play with. So we're going to go over here and we're going to cut our first one. And then the next one, we're just going to layer it slightly differently. So I'm going to bring this one over to a little bit more than 1.5. And there's no exact science to this. You know, you just really want to play with your tools. And then the last one, we're just going to cut it off nice and close. And this is the one that we're going to put down front. And we might play with it a little bit depending on whether I got the last punch exactly how I want it, or if I want it to line up a little bit different. So I'm just going to cut this off really close. And so now we have these. So now it's really simple to cut these. Really super simple. So I'm going to trim this little tiny bit off over here in the corner. It is such a beautiful day outside. I don't know if everybody else has been out there, but oh my goodness. It's just beautiful. Okay, Now, if you look, our campers are connected right here by this little camper thing. I don't know what we call that, but little feet. I don't know. So you just go like this, and then you don't want to get too close to the tree here because you want to bring it to a tip. So then you can come in with these little tiny micro tip scissors and you can make your branches pointy. And the more of a perfectionist you are, the more time you should take getting it just perfect. As you know, if you have met me ever, I am not a perfectionist, so I don't mind if my trees are not perfectly pointed. And you know what? Mother Nature doesn't usually have perfect trees either. So I feel like she's like right up my alley. But you just got to come in, and whenever you leave that little bit of extra, instead of trying to cut it right up next to it, it gives you the space to bring it to a little tiny bit of a tip. So that's super fun. So who do I have with me today? Have some time to comment if you want to while I'm doing my trimming. Because there's a lot of little extra trimming that goes with this. So I debated on whether I should do some ahead of time, but I figured if you're trying to do it along with me, I know some people do, then that wouldn't really be fair. It'd be like starting the race without you, right? Now see, I didn't trim that quite up to it, and it's okay, because look, these micro tip scissors, they'll get right in there and get that out. Oh my goodness, I've been doing nonstop National Scrapbook Day prep. I just cannot wait to get everybody together. It's so many fun things planned. Everybody else enjoying National Scrapbook Days out there? Hello, Gina. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for saying hi. Okay, we're gonna snip these ones. Get these in here. And you know what? I'm gonna do my snipping, but I'm gonna go back and do my cleanup later because I do want to get to the next step. I feel like, you know, if you're watching it on the recording, you could probably even fast forward through this if you really want to. I won't know. I won't be insulted. And then we're going to actually use this with a totally different punch than the houses when we get to the end. And I'm going to show you a little tiny trick for getting your trees to line up, because sometimes when you're putting them in there, you don't know exactly where it's going to go to until you've done it a couple of times. I dreamed this idea up last night, and then I just did it for the first time right before I created my little live stream. So see, it's really not hard. I'm hoping they come out with a swan punch. We have these beautiful swans that have been swimming around on the pond. My husband brought them home when they were babies, one under each arm. They needed a place to go, and now they have become one of my favorite pets. It's so pretty. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and layer. Let's get this out of my way so I can use my silicone mat. Y'all know that's one of my favorite things in the world. So we're going to go ahead and layer these trees. And then, last but not least, we're going to grab the last of our trees. And I'm going to come back and clean these ones up later because I feel confident that me trimming the last two right up close let you know how to do that. And I want to get to the next step. You know my patience level, right? That's why I'm a fast to fab girl. I really like it when I can get my pages done and I can just sit back and enjoy them and enjoy the story. Okay, so here we go. Now let's see if these line up right. Oh, they actually kind of do. Okay, so if they had not lined up right, which if you do it exactly the way I did it, it will work. But let's just pretend like they had not lined up right. Then we would have just taken these trees and we would have snipped them right off and we would have just added them wherever we needed them. But if you just follow exactly what I just did, then your trees are going to line up perfectly. I thought that might be the case, but I didn't want to make any promises. Okay, I'll come back and clean my trees up later because I'm actually going to use this on a page, which is why I am doing this a little bit differently than my house one, because I have use for this on our grease strip. I'm finishing that up. And then I'm going to have use for this with the boats. So, oh, I gave it away. We're going to use boats. Okay. So I just picked a fun color for my boats. And instead of using houses, like I did in the example one, we're going to do the boats. And I'm going to show you the Cassie Simple quick way to do it. But I'm also going to talk to you about another way for the people who like it to be absolutely perfect. I like to make all the personalities happy. So remember with these, you want to pull it out because look, these kind that have this little tiny strip, that strip can get caught if you just kind of rip it up along. And if it gets caught, then you have to go back and redo it because it rips. So, okay. So here we go. We've got our boats, cute little sailboats. And I'm going to show you the way I would do it. And then I'm going to talk to you about another way. So I'm just going to cut these boats off pretty close down here. And we're going to adhere. And this is going to cover up some of the stuff. So sailboats in the front. And you can trim some of these off. Like if you look at my house one, I trimmed some houses out of there to show off my trees a little more. With my boats, I really want all my boats there. But now I'm going to add this to cover up this bottom part. I could either do that or I could trim it off if I really wanted to. But I'm going to create some water. I'm going to bring this in and just give myself a little bit of a wave. And this is going to go right here on my boats. So if I had wanted my boats to be different colors and I wanted to get really fussy, I could have just made the boats out of this blue paper and adhered that. And then I could have just taken and freehanded some different boats. And by freehand, I mean just put it in without making a whole border because I want different colors. And then I could take those boats and I could harvest them. So just cut them right out. So this is for people who want to get super fancy. And you could just tape them right over top of there. And then they would be on the water. So if you want to stay with me, I'm going to do a couple of those just to kind of give you the idea. But I also wanted people to get the idea if they needed to get going and they just wanted to join in to see the idea. So you're going to cut your boats right out of the blue paper. So super simple. And then they're already on that water, right? So nice and easy. And then you can trim it off. And I would trim it off at about 1 3/4 inches to give yourself some room to going to peel this off because it's a repositionable tape. Not going to make you sit through a whole nother border, don't worry. Okay. And then you come on here and adhere. Ooh, that's pretty too. That water. I'm going to use that side. You know why? Because I think that that is just stunning. It looks like the water is going from deeper to shallower. Okay. So then you can just freehand some boats using your punch. And then you're going to take your microtip scissors. I love these things. I never used to freehand anything until I got these magical scissors. And I freehand a little boat. And then, which ways are my boats going? They're going that way because I flipped it. And then you're just going to take and adhere your boats. And now they're on the water. And look, in fact, I think I am going to take the time to do that. You know why? That's just super fun. All of my boats will be on the water. And I just think that looks really classy. So I can come on and I can get rid of some boats if I want to see more trees. You can also do this without anything in front. You don't have to have houses or boats. You could just make your trees to go across your page. So all kinds of fun things you can do. So you're just going to grab any old scraps that you have hanging out. Thankfully, I have my whole tropical one right here, so I can get what I need pretty quick and make lots of fun sailboats in all different colors. And it does matter which way your sails are going. So if I wanted to use this side of the paper, I would actually want to flip it over and do it so that I could get sails going the other direction. But this is just a super fun way to use up scraps too, because it's nice that you don't have to cut a whole border to get these little pieces. Okay, I hope that you learned something and you had fun. I'm going to finish this up and then I will post a picture in my group afterwards. But that was all for today, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.